Thank you for everybody that is joining in today on this Saturday. So today is a very very special day. I wanted to come today alone, um, because it was a very difficult week. It was a very difficult week in the industry. It was a very difficult week in the nation. It was a very difficult week in the pandemic. And here, I have this space in the wonderful TDO network that is the creative conversations. And today I wish that I could tell you and I could preach about how I want to remain creative. How are we going to be able to keep going, And I have more questions rather than answers today. Is how can we find as artists, how can we find ourselves in an opera company with the energy and the capability to keep creating when literally the world seems that it's taking a pause, is moving in different directions. There's a lot of crisis, right? And I struggle a lot, like when I was trying to prepare for this session, because I said, how can I, from the institutional position that we sit together, and how can we say, we see it, we see the artists that are losing their income, that are losing their artistic output, we see the audience that is missing the institution. We see our partners, everybody in production or in agencies and management that are losing their income. We see like we want to see also the communities, the partnership that we so much strive, and we write in our grant proposals and we use it so much to fundraise. We are now partners. We are in it. We are in it with the cities that we are, and with our with our neighbors. Right, and we see it, and also how can we say, we are in it after what just happened in the past few days of division in this country, So it's a heavy episode, or it's a heavy conversation that I would like to have with you. How opera becomes relevant in this moment, how opera can lend a hand into unifying society, into sending healing thoughts, into actually creating effective action. And that's what I want to hear a little bit from everybody that is here today with me. If you have any idea, any suggestion moving forward on how you are coping and how you as an artist are moving forward in this crazy world of today, I would love to hear it. I have to say that in Dallas Opera, we are very, very happy that we have a lineup of content creators that are every single day and every single week, they're trying to push the creativity, to push the boundaries of the budget that everybody's fighting, but we're trying to keep there, to bring original content. So it has been, have fun, my love. Yes, we do have fun creating all these things, but I want to hear you guys today. I really hope that we can have a little bit of a conversation about how can we move forward. How an opera company becomes a real partner and listen everybody. I think that's the only thing that we can do today. We can actually transpire and transform ourselves into a good force, an institutional good force in the community, So it is a heavy episode. We lost also a very, very dear friend in the opera industry today, Maestro Joel Refson. Maestro Refson, I met him in my years of San Francisco Opera when I was a Merolini. I was part of the Merrill Opera program, and he was the conductor that conducted the Merrill Grand Finale. Our big concert in the big opera house, our debut to the audience. and I was giving an assignment. It was an aria of a minute and a half, the aria of the Italian singer in Rosenkavalier, and he also was conducting the part. Another part, my other solo was to sing the quartet of Rigoletto, with him, and he was fantastic. He was a force of nature. He made me feel very comfortable. He saw me in the room immediately. Like he had that characteristic in great leaders, to see and know how to get the best of you. So that was something very special, and he was super positive. He was an incredible leader and an incredible conductor, but most of it was a friend. It was a person that calmed your nerves, that pushed through it, that pushed you to perform better. And so I miss my friend today, and I miss it, and it hurts that he went out for Corona, and we're shorting his audience and his friends of his musical and his emotional gifts. So I'm sad today for that. It was a difficult week also, because we saw some companies and some management companies starting to close, starting to shrink, and so today I want to tell you, we see you. We are in it. Well, I'm gonna sound like a little recording today, and maybe I'm not gonna go very, very far today, but I wanted to say that we see you. We see the struggle, and we are figuring out with you every single day. I had also a question that it's part of this kind of heaviness of episode. One of my very dear friends of the industry said, David, like I really want to keep my output. I really want to be an artist. I really want to keep singing, but I have a personal problem, because everybody's putting it out there for free, and like, how are we gonna get paid in the future? Are people starting to think, well, they did it for free, they did it for $100 today. How are we gonna keep the prices up to be? This is our form of living. And I think that it's a conversation that we have to have all together as an industry. Like we have to have it as agents, as singers, as directors, as companies. Where we have to recognize that prices change, that appraisal of the value of the things that we have to do are changing, that we have to move a lot of our price indicators and our success stories into the digital arena, and we have to also consider that anything that an artist gives us digitally or recorded, depending how you arrange with your artists to create, like it's their intellectual property and should be compensated properly. So I think that is an important conversation. I also think that we have to have the real economics conversation, right? That says how much is the company is able to monetize from what are we gonna sing today, and what is the part of the pie that I should get as a performer that day, right? And that is where the conversation is going to be very, very, very tense, because we're going to have to talk to our donors, we're going to have to talk to our audience, we're going to have to talk to our artists, and see what is the price of what we can do today, right? So in that question to my friend that asked it and asked me not to say who, because it's a very, very important singer, he said, I would say, like, do it when it feels right for you. If it arrives if someone arrives with you and said, like, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars to do this recital for you, and you feel that it's right, and the effort and the people that are going to help you can help you to do a good product for that amount of money, and you feel okay, and you feel that everybody got compensated, and you're proud of that product, go ahead, So I think, and at the same time, if you don't feel it, if you think that this is not for you, that you want to keep yourself kind of like until you can do it the way that you want it, the way that we want to do it, in a big theater for a big performance fee, it's fine. I would also recommend it, and I don't say this in any like threatening ways, like keep your finances lean. Like we at this moment, everybody hopes that we go business as usual at the beginning of the seasons. We don't know. We don't know. This is a very, very difficult time where we don't know what is the level of comfort of our audience to go back and sit for several hours while they hear beautiful music. So there's a lot of things that companies have to figure out during this pause. So that is my answer to that question about doing it for free. I have also here another question in the private about I'm a young singer and I hear that possibly a lot of things are gonna get canceled in this year. How do I make a living and how do I keep singing? I was like, well, that is a very, very complicated question. It's a very hard question, and it's a question that I ask myself when I try to tell all my followers and all my people that I mentor, and even the singers that I interact almost every day, is when are we gonna go back? I don't have that answer today. I don't know how we are gonna survive until we are able to go in, right? We have to be very creative. I think we have to spew a lot of content digital, as much as we can monetize it, or as we can have relationship with our audience and our donors to maybe like underwrite something for the digital sphere. So we have to be very creative. I think that this is the creative understanding that we're gonna have to have. For the young singer, I recommend that you become findable. I think I have said it several times in some of the conversations that I have had online, is have a good website, have tape, start reaching out, work on your craft, and survive it. Like stay with your financials as lean as possible, and training at the same time. Investing a certain amount of money, but protecting your long-term well-being. So when we are open, we're ready to go. You are in perfect shape and you don't have to wait for a few months to get better, so you're ready to be called. And I will be in contact with your opera companies. Find who is the casting director of the company that you want to be involved, especially if there's one big company nearby in your city. I would have a conversation to say I'm here, because when it opens, we don't know what is going to be the situation with international artists. We don't know how much travel is going to be allowed. So always is very good to know which are the local talents that is trained, and that they don't have to have even per diem and blah, blah, blah. All the economics of having somebody outside of the company. So I think that is something that I would do. Stay in shape and stay relevant. Why am I no, I have a few on the private ones, and they say that that I seem a little sad. I think that it's not about being sad. It's about being concerned and a little bit conscious of the environment that we are today. I'm hopeful that we're going to be singing and we're going to be playing as soon as possible. But we also have to make it safe. That's what I think. Anyway, yeah. Wow. Thank you guys for all the love for all the people that are joining in. I think that if I be honest, I have to tell you again, today was a hard week. This week was a hard one. This week was tough. This week the business got real. Coronavirus and their effects in the people. We lost somebody very close to me in the industry. We're seeing that everybody's kind of waiting about when are we going to start? Are you going to start? How are you going to start? And everybody's trying to help each other. And I am happy for that. I'm happy that we're having conversations, that we're unifying the fronts and see how we're going to respond together, as an industry. That is very, very, very good. But because of that, I don't have too much today. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk to you. for a few minutes. And we promise that we will keep spewing quality content in the next upcoming weeks. But today, this week, I wanted to finish early and say that we see you, that your opera company sees you, that the industry sees you, and we care. Okay, so I'm gonna go and like embrace my boy and have a beautiful afternoon, hopefully, and keep at it and keep spewing content for you in the next few weeks. We see you and keep fighting for this. Okay, I hope to hear you soon. I see you next week. We're going to talk about more business things. We're going to have a special guest. I'm very excited to see this person with us next week. And but that's all. I am thankful again that you tuned out today, and see you next week.